What is going on, guys? Rodney here with Crypto Bros. Welcome to today's video. It is Sunday afternoon. It's actually pretty dreary here. Not watching football, which I'm not a sports guy, so that doesn't matter. But what we're going to go over today is we're going to take a quick look at the market. I have 4 articles to go through, and then at the end, we're going to take a look at a new emerging medical blockchain ICO. All that is coming up right now. What is up, guys? Thank you as always for tuning in. Shout out to everyone who has been subscribing to the channel. Seriously appreciate you guys there. All that being said, we might as well jump right in. First and foremost, just flipping over to the market cap. It is a Sunday afternoon, so it's pretty typical. A lot of red in the market, but current market cap, $220 billion. Again, quite a bit of red. Let's see who's actually up. Red coin almost up 18%. Truth be told, I have a fairly large bag of red coin that I bought like November or December of 2017. But hey, nice to see some movement here. Nebulous, I also hold. I literally bought Nebulous at $10 and at $5. Theta token also up 5.5%. Loom up over 5%, and Crypto Next 4.85%. Not too bad for a Sunday afternoon for some of these coins. Wow, even Verge is up 1.47%. PooDX. Anyway, so green in the market, not a bad thing for a Sunday afternoon, but jumping into the news articles, this one's been circulating quite a bit lately. Cryptocurrency exchanges have been used to launder $88 million since 2016. Because this is kind of negative, I'm actually not even going to go through it today because I don't care. So anyway, let's get to the good stuff. So billionaire investor Mike Novogratz, correct? Crypto market shows signs of a bottom. So it says billionaire investor and hedge fund legend Mike Novogratz, who's also very bullish on cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin in general, could be right after all. Since he called a bottom in the crypto market on September 13th, the market has notably recovered, fueled by large rallies of most major cryptocurrencies. Since September 13th, within less than 3 weeks, the cryptocurrency market has recorded a major movement on the upside. Ethereum, which struggled to see a recovery in its momentum throughout August, recorded a 24.44% increase, while Ripple saw a staggering 105% surge. I know everybody's super jacked up about the Ripple boom. Obviously, if you're a Ripple holder, that's fantastic to have. I do hold Ripple. Probably upside down on it at this point. I don't actually know what it's trading at. But anyway, so why did Novogratz call the bottom? And he says, I think we put in a low yesterday. We retouched highs late of last year at this point of acceleration and led to a massive rally bubble. Markets like to retrace to the breakout. We retraced the whole of the bubble, Novogratz said, calling the bottom of the market. Williams percentage range, a technical analysis oscillator that shows the current closing price relation to the high and low of the past X days, also showed oversold conditions in the crypto market as Bitcoin dropped below the 6,000 mark. Novogratz said the market has experienced seller fatigue, and with less investors willing to sell at the current lows, which is the smart play to make, is unlikely to see the market drop any further. So where is the market heading? Novogratz, who has been accurate calls throughout this month and has emphasized that 68 is a major resistance level, which actually we've seen from the guys from Bitcoin Live. I've seen the same call from Jacob Canfield from I Love Crypto and a handful of other traders, so fairly accurate there. But 68 is a major resistance level for Bitcoin, and if the dominant cryptocurrency breaks out of it, a move to 7,000 is very likely. It is still too early to determine if Bitcoin can enter the 7,000 region in the next 12 to 24 hours, but based on the trend of the market, strong momentum showed by major cryptocurrencies, it is becoming increasingly likely for a short-term rally. I actually just read an update from Signal Profits, which is a service that I actually buy into. He's pretty 50-50 on the market in terms of him and his team and their technical indicators, as well as a couple other guys from Bitcoin Live. But nonetheless, moving on. So bear market, CoinMarketCap hits a milestone with 2,000 active cryptocurrencies listed. That's actually pretty crazy. And if you think literally not that long ago, like beginning of the year, I think we were around like 13 or 1,400. So 600 new, roughly, new cryptocurrencies have been listed. So it says, cryptocurrency resource CoinMarketCap hits a new milestone on Friday as its market cap rankings now include more than 2,000 active coins and tokens and increased more than 600, oh, I was right, 600 since the beginning of 2018. A significant percentage, actually we're going to skip that part, it says the site does not provide any data on how many cryptocurrencies it has delisted, but according to its website, index projects must be listed on a public currency exchange with a functional API and have a non-zero trading volume. So interesting nonetheless. And even in the bear markets, we continue to see these new projects emerging. And I get it. Everyone gets super pissed off about all of these new ICOs that are hitting and everything jumping on blockchain. But again, like, flip the script just a little bit and think about it. Like, if everybody is kind of doing this, and yes, there are some scammy ones, and yes, there were some shitty ones, and everyone's trying to move to blockchain, but this is what kind of defines the next wave. So love it or hate it, these projects will continue to come. Anyways, moving on, why the crypto market will likely rally by the end of 2018, experts discuss. And I highly recommend just taking a few minutes to read this article. I'll post a link to this article as well as all the other ones I referenced down below. But it says, historically, over the past 9 years, Bitcoin has experienced 4 major corrections, all which have led Bitcoin to decline by more than 80% in value. The correction in the crypto market experienced in 2018 resulted in a 69% drop in the Bitcoin price, with some other cryptocurrencies like Binance Coin and EOS recording smaller losses. In August 2010, August 2011, January 2014, and January 2018, Bitcoin demonstrated a 70 to 80% loss against the US dollar. As Cointelegraph previously reported, according to researchers at Chain Analysis, the Bitcoin market has matured throughout the last 9 months despite the deep decline in price. The majority of investors have held on to their investments, which is obviously the right move to make. The maturity of the Bitcoin market has been evident since the stability of August 6. Over the last 2 months, Bitcoin has remained stable in the $6,300 to $6,800 range, rarely breaking above the $6,800 resistance level, while other cryptocurrencies like Ripple and Ethereum demonstrated high volatility. I'm actually going to skip past this. And if we go right down here where it starts talking about the entrance of institutional investors is where things get pretty interesting. I think most people kind of think this anyway, but just to read it here is, again, pretty interesting. So it says, even if institutions were interested in investing in cryptocurrencies, Market Kyle Samani, a general partner in Multicoin Capital, stated the trusted custodian solutions were not in place and the lack of infrastructure prevented institutions from committing to the asset class. He said there are many investors where custody is the last barrier. Over the next year, the market will realize that the safekeeping problem is solved. This will release a large wave of capital. And then it goes on to say, Ari Paul, co-founder of a large-scale cryptocurrency hedge fund, Block Tower, echoed the same sentiment. And it says, custody isn't binary. It is not like Coinbase custody will launch and suddenly every pension will throw 100 million into BTC. It takes time for custody solutions to gain trustworthiness, but I think we'll have a solid third-party custody by September of this year that will allow institutional inflows to start accelerating. Once a couple of big traditional money managers announce that they are including BTC as digital gold in their portfolios, other will follow. So very cool nonetheless. Again, check this article out, really good read. Moving on to our last article of the evening is the Van Eck delay. Just to kind of put a brief spark note on this. So this is obviously the second time this has been delayed since the initial file was proposed, which was June 20th. The next date we now have to look forward to is December 29th. The SEC has 120 days to make a decision from when the proposal was published for comment in the federal registration, which was July 2nd. But as we go down here, it says, echoing the same statement, the CEO of SolidX also affirmed that last Thursday's decision had no effect on his outlook over the proposal. Even industry experts such as Eric Belkinash, I don't know how to say that, senior ETF analysis for Bloomberg Intelligence, explained that in his view, the order looked like more of the same in terms of seeking comment and asking questions regarding some of the major concerns. My odds for the approval have not changed in either direction, which is as of August 3rd were 5 to 10% before the end of 2018. Nonetheless, December 29th is the day that we are looking forward to. But moving on to our ICO review, we're actually going to be talking about an ICO called Atlantico. So we'll flip over to their website, and I put a few notes together, and we'll jump into that right. So flipping over to their actual website, this is Atlantico-network.io. Just full transparency here, this is a sponsored ICO review. Essentially what they're asking me for is my opinion on here. Truth be told, I'm actually a very big fan of medical blockchains, and I say that based on my own experience. So I recently had a family member go through a lot of different issues in and out of hospitals, seeing different doctors, a lot of different procedures, a lot of different stuff with like pharmacies and drugs and stuff. But the issue is there's no transparency or connectivity. It was very tough to schedule anything. It was very tough to get doctors to communicate based on the things that needed to be done. It was honestly just a mess, and that's just because everything goes through different paperwork and reviews and stuff like that. So being able to actually utilize a distributed ledger in the medical field, I think offers just a ton of use cases. So I'm already a fan of kind of like the idea to begin with. So anyway, they define themselves as an international decentralized blockchain platform for a wide use in the medical and pharmaceutical industry, with support in development and scaling by ministries of health, public and private medical centers, and pharmaceutical manufacturers worldwide. I'm not a big fan of like that description, so we'll kind of go in there and talk about exactly what they are. I did put some notes together. A couple things that are worth noting. They do have a platform already built for people to connect with, as well as a mobile app that you can download, obviously, on the Google Play Store or the App Store. That is pretty cool. One other great point here is the fact that they already have exchange listings already lined up. So they're going to be on CoinMarketCap and BitXBay. But what I'm going to do now is just jump into the notes and we'll kind of pick it up from there. So what is Atlantico? Well, per their white paper, they are the first decentralized medical blockchain platform. They're essentially building a fully functional ecosystem, bridging the gap between different facets of medical care and uniting all interactions on a single platform. This includes interactions between patients, doctors, pharma, insurance companies, medical centers, and even manufacturers of the pharmaceuticals themselves. Their goal, again, is just to make everything very transparent, very simple, and very clear. All transactions will essentially be recorded on the blockchain ledger. So again, that transparency piece is there. The system also regulates price or product price formation and lets users get high quality goods and services at fair prices. They also understand that in terms of bringing all these people together, the platform needs to be really, really good in order to attract doctors, patients, different medical centers to want to use this actual blockchain. They're also looking to solve 5 defined problems, and within their white paper, it actually goes a little more in depth in each of these. But number one is the medical centers and doctors provide low quality of services. So if I got a low quality service or a doctor rushed me in and rushed me out, I can leave a review and say, this, Dr. XYZ did a poor job at this, and all of this would all be recorded. So, that that incorporates like a trust issue and doing a good job just because everything is so transparent. So number 2, patients lack choice of doctors and medical centers due to the lack of service quality ratings, counterfeit pharmaceuticals on the market, overpriced goods and services, right? We've seen these massive, actually watched this thing on Netflix a couple weeks back where these pharmaceutical companies were jacking the prices way up. So this would also protect from that. Fraudulent doctors and medical centers illegally charging insurance companies, which is obviously a huge issue with insurance fraud. So anyway, couple other things that are worth noting. One, this is built on the NEM platform, and this is actually the first project I've actually seen built on top of NEM. Cool to see these guys actually growing their ecosystem. 2, soft cap is only 3 million, hard cap is 15 million, but their optimal cap is legitimately between 8 and 10 million bucks, which again I think is very respectable. If we jump in on something like this that is an application in terms of like a blockchain, and they want 30, 40, 50 mil, I think that is a little excessive for what they're trying to do, especially because a lot of this is just like data transfer. So I like that. Again, the blockchain uses is to record all interactions on the platform. This is ratings, comments, case histories, medical records, treatments, diagnosis, prescribed medicine, drugs that are available at nearby pharmacies, and current prices. So very cool to have all of that in one spot. And then also, as I mentioned earlier, they already have 2 defined listings for exchanges, CoinMarketCap and BitXBay, and then right now in their ICO, which I believe started in August, or the beginning of August, they've sold roughly 2,000 ETH, which is a roughly 450K in USD in today's prices. So there is that. So flipping back over to their website, we can go kind of check things out here. So For one, this always shows the the high ratings they have for their ICO. To be honest, I rarely see like a low rated ICO, and so I take these kind of with a grain of salt. But what I will say is I do use like the ICO rating sites just to read what other people are saying about them and kind of compare their opinions to mine. Once we get right here, it talks about the problems again: quality of services, alternate choice, counterfeit drugs, high price, insurance fraud, etc. Video, you guys can totally check that out. But once we get down to their mission, it is to organize remote and secure interactions in the market of medical and pharmaceutical products and services, build transparent relationships without risks to improve the level of medical and pharmaceutical services. This piece right here just kind of talks about the ecosystem they have and everything revolving around their platform and their blockchain. Again, everything from insurance companies, patients, pharmacies, doctors, wholesalers of pharmaceutical products, whatever. Everything kind of revolves and connects within their blockchain. So I think that's really cool. Once we get down here, you can see they have some partners kind of geographically spread out, but nonetheless pretty cool. But once you get to their actual app, I think this is where they start to set themselves apart, just because they'll have easy search and selection of medical centers, doctors, pharmacies located nearby. Analysis based on patient comments and ratings, which I think is super important. Like, think about anytime you get something on Amazon or whatever, and the ratings and how much you rely on those. I know when I'm looking, so having that in terms of like a doctor or a different medical center, I think is super important. Quality control of purchased pharmaceutical products, and ability to evaluate the quality of pharmaceutical products and services, and the evaluation of insurance policies sold by companies as well as their service. So all of that can be on their application. Right now they're accepting BTC, Ethereum, Litecoin, USD, BCH, and Ethereum Classic. They also will accept credit card, but do not buy an ICO with a credit card. Anyway, this right here just talks about their architecture. I mean, it is very important in how this works, but they break this down a little bit further when we go into their actual white paper. I actually had a couple of their models pulled up here, but again, the white paper is actually really good. I combed through this pretty thoroughly just to kind of read and make sure like all pieces of their idea were connecting, and I was pretty impressed on that. By no means am I a wizard. I'm probably pretty easy to impress, but I thought the white paper was very well done. One thing I haven't been a fan of lately are these profitability projections that these ICOs have been putting in there. Like, you don't know. I mean, this is pretty aggressive. The one thing that I do like is actually this piece right here, and it's the number of medical centers connected to the platform. So right now, their goal in 2018 is 100. Their goal by 2019 is 6,000. Hard to say if they'll actually reach that, but I care much more about how well they're progressing in their product more so than I do like ROI. The moment that people start worrying more about money than the quality of what they're producing, I think shit normally hits the fan. So anyway, profit and token distribution. This one caught my eye right here. So this is 250 million for IPO and listing on stock exchanges. So that's an interesting piece that I haven't really come across of that much, but I don't know if they're talking about like an actual stock exchange, like publicly traded company, but nonetheless, pretty cool. One thing I did like about their team is like these guys have experience. When we look at their timeline, it literally dates back to 1987, I think, when Atlantic Company was kind of founded, dealing with like restaurants and real estate. And if we look at these guys, a lot of them have a lot of just like industry knowledge and clout in the space, and have been doing these type of things for quite some time. So not to sound like stereotypical, but when we see like an older generation of team and we look at kind of like the accolades they've had in their business career, I think that projects more of like a positive sentiment on where the project is going when we see stuff like this. So anyway, going down, you guys can go through their team. I mean, it actually gets pretty, it's a fairly small team, but a lot of these you can load more and get a couple more. I don't know why that didn't go up. Oh, maybe I already clicked it. So anyway, you guys can totally check that out. In terms of their timeline, again, like I said, starts in 1987. The launch of Atlantic International Finance and Loan Limited Company. They dealt with stuff with terms of restaurants and real estate, but were things like that we would care about currently is the fact that July 2016 through June 2017 was the development of the concept and reaching out to potential partners and kind of building the base of the company. Once we hit middle of 2018, they created the demo version of the platform and the mobile app, and then they filed patents overseas in Britain, territories, crown dependencies, EU, and the USA. But I think what most people in terms of being like a potential investor really care about is the fact that in November 2018, listing of the tokens will be on exchanges, and those are the two that we mentioned above. But what's nice about this this roadmap is it's kind of spaced out between now and 2022, and really that's not that far away in the grand scheme of things, especially when we're talking about like a global reach. So very cool here. You guys can check out their advisors, but other than that, guys, that is all I got for you today. Again, this was sponsored. I'm just sharing my honest opinion on this, and I'm a big fan of medical-based blockchain just because I think there is room for improvement in the current system, and I think distributed ledger can do that. Whether it's this project or another one, it's up in the air still, but it is worth looking at, and especially some of the ones. And I probably look at maybe 15 or 20 ICOs a week, and this one seems like it has things going in the right direction, and there are some actual use cases. As always, nothing said here is financial advice. I'm definitely not a financial advisor. Always invest at your own risk. Just trying to bring you quality information. So I hope you enjoyed the review. Anyway, guys, that is all I have for you on this Sunday evening. Hope you guys have a great week. I will be back. I think I have a couple other videos coming up, and then I move. Then I'm moving to Tennessee again, hoping to connect with BitBoy. So all that being said, I appreciate you guys. There should be a beer can in the top left corner. If you click that, that will subscribe you to the channel, and I would love that. So have a great evening, and I will check you guys later.